Hello there. Welcome to Ewok Talk, a podcast about all things Star Wars. Back at it again, I'm Nicholas Koss, here with...
I'm Mo, but there's something different about me.
Big Mo in the house.
I'm Diana, things are the same.
I mean,
Nice.
Thanks, Big Mo.
no problem, Nick.
Is there any Star Wars news you want to touch on before we get into our main topics? We can just briefly say that since the last time I recorded, the news of Gina Carano being let go from Lucasfilm came out. We are deeply saddened that she will no longer be in The Mandalorian. However, I feel like that's as far as it goes.
Those of you may recall that previous Light Mo was a big fan of Gina Carano, but Big Mo is a fan of social justice. So don't even think about it.
That was old Mo.
Yeah.
This is big new Mo.
Yeah, it just it sucks to suck for her. Sorry, yo,
People said that, Pedro Pascal has said very similar sentiments and he has not been punished. Is that true?
I'll be honest. I don't have a Twitter account, so I can't tell you.
I don't either. I think Twitter is a garbage social media site.
I could be wrong, but from what I understand, the way that Gina Carano phrased her whole thing was that she was seeing her perspective as being a conservative, comparing herself as being attacked. She was basically victimizing herself, whereas Pedro Pascal was talking about how it's literally he was referring to immigrants, I believe, and how they were being treated poorly. He was literally just being like, this is what's happening today, rather than you're treating me like this because of my perspective.
I believe that Gina literally compared her plight as a conservative to that of Jews and minorities in Nazi Germany. So I'm no historian.
But she took a wrong turn somewhere.
Something seems off there to me. She should have compared herself to the plight of Alderanians. Am I right? Hey-oh.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but she clearly, knew where that was going. I mean, I feel like there was a history of her having similar posts and being vocal about things like that. Yeah,
and it's why would you risk it?
Yeah, I mean, it's her life,
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine how crazy her feed is, though? That what she said was the regular
because she's seeing people who agree with
sure.
her.
I think the only other memorable Star Wars news right now is that two things. Republic Commando is going to be coming out soon. What's the date? Is it going to be...
I think it's this year. I just saw the trailer online, actually, before we started this.
Yeah, isn't it March?
Oh, yeah? Wow. It's coming up soon. Maybe we'll play it before next episode.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows? We take 2 months to make an episode. So, you never know. Republic Commando was a really cool game for Xbox and I think PC back in 2005. And I'm going to make Mo play it. Whether or not he wants to is irrelevant.
Go ahead. Tell the people why you're excited about it, and I'll tell them why I'm skeptical about it.
I'm just really excited because you get to play it on first of all, you can just play. You're going to be able to play it on PS4 and the Switch if you like, but I wouldn't bother with that. But it's going to be ported to PS4. I don't think the graphics are going to be much updated, but it's a good game, and I think it holds up. I think the control scheme and everything, and especially the story and graphics hold up. So I'm very excited to play it. I never played it all the way through, and neither did Mo.
Well, when it came out, I was one of those kids that never really got more than one game a year or every 6 months or so. So it was one of those things that was just out of my reach, and I really wanted to play it. But my only skepticism about this, I just saw the trailer before we started, and it doesn't really look updated. I'm cautiously optimistic. I want it to be good. There's nothing I want more than for it to be good and for me to love it.
He's lying.
No. Yeah, you're right. I hope it sucks and you're unhappy. But no, seriously. The more of the stuff that they remake, I'm happy for it. We'll see. We'll see when it comes out. And if it's more than $20, then that's just theft.
Yeah, I don't know how expensive it's going to be. That's a good point. I'm not sure.
$60.
If it's $60 for a 10-year-old game, what is this, Nintendo? Hey, yo.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the price is going to be, but I didn't have an Xbox growing up, and I only had 4 or 5 games a year, maybe, So I knew I was never going to be able to play that game when I was a kid. It was actually a bonus feature on the Revenge of the Sith DVD. There was a little trailer for it, and hey kids, get excited. Go play this cool game only on Xbox, and my heart sank. I was like,
Is this a confirmation that I had the most games as a child?
possibly.
What games you had?
I mean, I had a lot of different consoles.
Oh,
Yeah, I had the Xbox, PS4, all that.
But did
What?
you had the Xbox and the PS4?
Oh, sorry, PS2.
oh,
My bad.
Oh, so you had the GameCube, the PS2, and the Xbox?
Yeah. I had a Game Boy Advance. I
This
had a Game Boy
spoiled
SP.
motherfucker right
Listen,
here.
Nick, it's
I
just
had
the
a
curse of
Dreamcast.
curse
you guys
of
know
being
about
the
Dreamcast?
being the oldest brother is that you have to acquire what you can.
Oh yeah, you guys are both the eldest brothers. Yeah, you guys didn't try hard enough. Sorry.
Well,
Yeah.
well, hold on. By the time I was an
Shafted.
adult, my little cousins had everything they could want, in terms of video game consoles.
Right. Yeah. I guess I don't know why it works out that way. It's unfair. So Mo, what game, since they are like remaking a bunch of these games, like the Star Wars Racer game and Republic Commando and whatnot, what game would you be really excited for them to re-release?
I'm glad you asked me that. I actually have a lot of thoughts on this. I missed the MMORPG boom of the late 2000s. The late 2000s, whatever, yeah. And because my internet was spotty and my parents didn't believe in paying for a subscription for a game, like the
Right,
concept
yeah.
just didn't make sense to them.
Yeah,
It's
my
like we
parents
paid,
would never have understood that. Yeah.
it's like, why are we paying like a phone bill for a video game?
Right.
So I really, really want them to get me KOTOR. Give me a KOTOR remake that everyone gets into.
I think they did though, didn't they?
I saw the thing that they did make. I forgot what it's called, but it's another MMORPG, and that's like now 7 years old or so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But if I could get back on that wagon, that'd be a great opportunity for me. And I think there was like so much space to do it. Like these things are always super popular. People really dig into them. They spend a lot of money on them. So make it happen, LucasArts. What's going on?
Yeah, I will say I'm not really an MMORPG guy, but if they made a new one, I might be into playing it. Honestly, that's definitely a market that I feel like has not really been filled for Star Wars in the past few years.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's a good pick.
What about you?
I don't really play Star Wars. I like Knights of the Old Republic, but
What if they made
Star Wars Animal Crossing.
Star Wars, but Animal Crossing?
Well, they did the thing for The Sims. That was fun. I don't really want to play Star Wars and Animal Crossing.
that's just-
The worlds don't combine well.
Yeah. Okay.
How
that's
does it
just
not? Mr. Nook is the Unkar Plutt or whatever from.
Oh my gosh! No.
Help me out. What's the planet? You're Ray.
Jakku?
Yeah. I'm Jakku. You're a slave. You bring nuggets to Mr. Nook. It's the same game.
I bring him nuggets.
I don't know how the game works.
Bring me my nuggets.
You scavenge for whatever, and you bring it to Mr. Nook, and he's like, I'm going to pay you half as much as I said. And you're like, wah, get me off this planet.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Everyone's a skeptic now. All right, whatever.
No, I
I
mean,
think it's the same game.
yeah, no, I don't know. Diana's she's into different kinds of video games than we
Yeah, I'm
are.
a casual gamer.
But anyway,
Casual.
the other thing was I think the Bad Batch got a release date finally.
I don't even know what the Bad Batch
Yeah, I
is.
don't know
I
what
still
that
don't
is.
know it. I just when
Yeah,
I
you-
saw the
you-
thing.
You got to watch the Clone Wars Mo to understand who the Bad Batch is.
Bad bitch.
But
Can we bleep that out?
No.
but essentially, the Bad Batch is going to be taking place after the Clone Wars, but before A New Hope.
I don't know why that took me so long to place. You could have seen the gears turning in my head. I'm like, oh, okay.
Huh?
So we're going to have Baby Ray or...
No, but I think it's going to be cool. I think it's, takes place after Order 66. And the Bad Batch are a group of like specialized clones that actually have like mutations. They're not like exact clones. One's like a strong buff dude and one's
Ooh.
like this lanky sniper guy. So it's going to be cool, I think. I'm excited for it.
Is this going to have that Jedi you hate from that other show, Jason? Jason.
Jason.
Oh, is that
If Jason is in this show, I swear
Do you
to
mean
God.
Ezra?
Ezra. Okay, Ezra's a worse name than Jason, though, right? Ezra, isn't that like straight up a member of Vampire Weekend?
What does that have to do with
I'm just
anything?
saying, how's that guy
You
in
were
Star
singing
Wars?
Vampire Weekend earlier.
They're good in our world, maybe not in their world.
Yeah, no, Ezra sucks. Hate that guy. Dumb head.
Yeah, I'm not really a fan either. But let's move on. We just actually earlier this morning, we watched Genndy Tartakovsky's Clone Wars animated series again. And I gotta say, it definitely holds up. I think it's probably... I mean, there's a lot of things I like about it more than the 3D Clone Wars, for sure. I don't know how you guys felt about it. I think, Diana, I don't think you've ever seen it all the way through.
I have not seen it all the way through, mostly because I just wasn't that interested in it when I was younger. But watching it now, there are regrets.
I will say, if you haven't seen it, you can watch it all on YouTube for free, but I don't think I would watch it all the way through. If I've never seen it before, I wouldn't just watch the whole thing all the way through because it's a bit exhausting. There's so much action and so many story beats. I feel like you need some time in between them, you know?
Especially with the way the one that we watched was cut, because it was just like, we didn't see an intro, we didn't see an ending, really. It was just episode, then episode, then episode.
Yeah, well, that's how it goes, yeah.
And the way...
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say... You know, when those aired on TV, they all just begin with that, like, Clone Wars in space title thingy, and then it goes into whatever it's doing.
Yeah, but there's still a separation, that's my point.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, to that point, it's kind of confusing how would they cut it, you know, to let viewers look at it now? You know, it's hard to recapture that whole 5-minute episode once a week. I was there when it first came out in, 2006, 2007, and you'd look forward to that, like, all week. Like, oh my God, I wonder what Asajj is going to do, and so on. So I wonder how one can capture that again for such a short series.
Oh, so like the episodes themselves weren't very long?
5 minutes.
Yeah.
I don't know that.
Yeah, they were something like 3 or 5 minutes for the first half of it. And
Well,
the second
gosh.
half was longer.
I'm gonna change my whole opinion. But yeah, that's interesting then. I'm not saying that I needed, like, it was just, we watched the whole thing, guys. Like, the whole thing.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like I said, exhausting. But what I do think is that they should definitely put it on Disney Plus. I don't know why.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it seems like a crime against humanity that it's not on there, you know, because we could get it in the highest quality form possible. The YouTube version was pretty good. I mean, it looks HD and all that, but I wonder if they have higher quality available, you know, assets that they could put on Disney Plus.
Do you think it's because it was on Cartoon Network?
Yeah, maybe, but that's where the 3D Clone Wars aired as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I can't think of what the reason would be where they wouldn't have this. Maybe it's the same thing where they don't know how to kind of present it as a unified thing for viewers.
Possibly. On the DVD release of it, they kind of release it like we saw, so it's all cut together. I feel like they could do that on Disney Plus, but also have the option to just watch the individual segments. Because the individual segments do have maybe 1 or 2 additional shots at the beginning and end, from what I remember. Because I know that when they were airing on television, I used to record them to VHS tapes so I could watch them back. So there are like very slight changes that they made to like stitch them all together. They should still, wherever they keep the master archives of that stuff, if it's at Cartoon Network or whatever, they would still have all of them separated as they aired, you know?
Yeah.
Well, and as it is now, allow me to recreate for our listeners at home. It's something like...
Yeah, it's a lot of...
Anakin. I am a Sith.
Anakin's all like, meh.
He's very, Obi-Wan, you and the Jedi Council don't like me.
Why did you say it like Obi-Wan?
I thought that was like a
I don't know.
Palpatine.
Sorry, I slipped into like a British-ish accent at the very end.
That's true. Anakin does have an American accent.
He does, yeah.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
I think they did a good job doing like Hayden.
Oh,
like
that
the way
guy,
that way that
guy
Hayden
does a
talks.
good... He does a good impression of Hayden. He also voiced Anakin in the Clone Wars video game and the Revenge of the Sith video game.
But not the 3D.
No.
Right? It's a different guy. Yeah.
No, that's a totally different guy that sounds nothing like Hayden.
Yeah, he sounds like a man.
But have you guys heard my Hayden Christensen impression?
Go for it.
I hate you! I hate you!
Oh, that was an impression?
Here in the studio, on fire.
Oh, I thought he was always telling me he hated me.
Yeah, I thought you were just
doing an
yelling at us,
impression.
man.
Okay.
Like that.
All right, cool.
Why do you think I called you Master?
I'm sorry.
This episode is being filmed at night.
At night.
Oh yeah, we did it again.
I just think the art direction in this is very strong, and I don't know if it inspired the 3D version. It seems to have in some ways, but like I feel like it works really well in this 2D version comparatively to how they designed things for the 3D Clone Wars. Even though Count Dooku has like a really thin like sausage head, it works in 2D. Like it doesn't bother me.
Right.
It's a good caricature representation of these characters.
I think my only problem with it, like, just right off the bat, is, like, I thought that human creature characters and stuff looked weird. That's my only thing, is that they had either weird eyes or something about their face just didn't sit well with me. But everything else, like, everything that required, like, a sharp angle or something like that was great. The clone troopers did look really cool, like, the designs and everything. I think, again, everything that required, like, a sharpness to it looked awesome to me. And, you know, just Genndy Tartakovsky in general, great dude. He just made so much content for, like, my childhood and stuff. So seeing him work on something like this that is very action oriented, like combat action oriented at times was cool.
I mean, there's not really any other reason to watch this besides for action, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's so good the way that we were talking about it, how he does, like, just excessive amounts of, like, spaceships and things. He does this grand scale. This is what a big galactic war would look like if you had all these crazy amounts of funding that both sides have. You know, this aired after episode 2 and before episode 3, you know, so this definitely really influenced my little kid brain on how to, like, play with my toys for things, you know. This was the thing, because all we had was, like, the end of episode 2 with like the Battle of Geonosis, but then we had this, and it was amazing. It was a big jumping off point of, like, wow, it really inspired me to create my own stories in my head about different Jedi doing different missions in the Clone Wars and whatnot.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and the Battle of Geonosis was such a high point in episode 2 that this series came in at a time when it was like, I need more of that. I need that every week, again and again and again.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it ran straight from, like, release of episode 2, release of episode 3. Was that the plan? Because that's pretty impressive, actually, if you ask me.
I don't remember when it started. Yeah. I don't know. But, I mean, I don't think it came out directly, like, right after episode 2. I think it was closer to episode 3. But I don't know.
And there's something to be said to reminisce about a time when Star Wars wasn't the absolute powerhouse, you know, that it is today.
Word.
And so it's amazing that they pulled that off at that time, even.
Yeah.
Everything except for, of course, LucasArts, which was, you know, is now a husk of what it used to be, IMO, but on its way back.
Yeah, agreed. And I really love, I know they don't portray the clones as people that have much character in this series, but this was definitely the first time at all on television or on screen, I guess, where we see clone troopers that are, like, total badasses.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you get to see these cool commando clones, and you're like, whoa, that is epic.
Yeah, and I will say, like, in the first half, definitely, because there's not a ton of dialogue, like, in these shorts, and Genndy Tartakovsky has done this before in, like, Samurai Jack and everything, but, like, the way that it worked for the clone troopers, especially in, like, one of the first few that we watched, was awesome. Like, it worked so well, and it really just showed a side of them that is respectable, honestly. Yeah.
And it also really flushes out the CIS. Is that what we call them now? The CIS, Confederates?
Separatists,
right. The separatist side of the whole thing. With Dirge, is that the name? Dirge being the first villain, for those who don't remember. He was the enormously muscular cavalryman, so to speak.
Cool guy Dirge.
Who spoiler alert, ends up being, like, a giant regenerating alien. But anyhow, it really added a layer of, like, the war is competitive. It's difficult. You're not sure to win. And even, you know, our favorite Jedis can get bested by these random no-names you're meeting for the first time, which is adds a lot of tension to the series, IMO.
I mean, I think this series might be the only, it's weird to say, but might be the only Star Wars media that really shows a struggle for the Republic to, like, beat the Separatists, you know, with, like, Grievous actually being, like, a real powerhouse of a force. And even, I think we got, like, in the second half, we got a very short montage of Separatists taking over planets and systems and stuff. And I thought that was really cool. They don't really do that enough in the 3D Clone Wars show, where they show that the Separatists actually have the ability to, like, really get things done and conquer these worlds and stuff. Sure, they talk about it a lot, you know, but it never really seems like that hopeless for anybody. It always seems like, all right, well, there's just, like, you know, one Jedi away from winning this battle, or there's some supplies being dropped to these people who are hungry, but other than that, it's not like they're being, like, hunted to extinction or anything. You know, I mean, it just doesn't really hit as hard as it does in this show of how like hard it is sometimes with the overwhelming amount of forces the Separatists have.
Mm-hmm. I think digging into the villains here, like starting with Grievous, this is the first time that, Grievous, I guess, was introduced, right? Because we didn't see him in episode 2.
Mm-hmm.
And here he is like the definition of like scary robot plus vampire plus like evil Jedi. And he
Hair
is,
clipper.
he is really, he's like real nightmare fuel, because he's coming out of nowhere. He like appears almost supernatural,
Yeah,
right?
he's
The
such a
number of
badass.
shots. Yeah, he has like upside down. And woo, I love him. I love him in this.
Yeah, no, he's great. He's a perfect villain for like Jedi. He's literally, I don't know what George Lucas told Genndy when Genndy was developing this, but he's definitely an ultimate Jedi hunting force.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't know how Genndy just understood like what his like purpose was.
Oh, yeah, I got you, man.
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, a lot of sharp edges.
it's very odd because it seems like George Lucas just was clearly not on the same page at all about how Grievous' character is supposed to come off.
Right.
Grievous in George Lucas's mind is like this pathetic man who runs away from every fight and like is basically a mustache twirling, just monologue-y villain. Whereas the Genndy version is like,
He's a villain.
I will kill you and your parents and all of your ancestors.
Which is what I thought was funny when you said, what did George Lucas tell Genndy? Because I don't know, what did George Lucas write down himself?
He
have
told
no
him what
idea.
he thought, and then Genndy was like, all right, here's a remix.
Genndy was like, have you ever heard of Aku? I'm going to bring a little Aku into this.
Get a little Aku up in here.
Another thing, if we're done talking about, if you guys have anything else to say about Grievous?
Well, I was thinking we'd go through the other villains, but yeah, go ahead.
No, it's mostly that for something that spans just like 2 hours, or a little more than 2 hours, you get so many glimpses of characters that you don't really get to spend time with in the movies. And you don't need much, I think is the point, is that I've never really cared that much about Mace Windu, to be completely honest. But I just needed that one, like his first like scene. It was amazing. I have so much respect for him because he's so awesome. And then like even with like Aayla Secura, even with Shakti, you get glimpses of these characters that you don't get to have in the movies, and it's rewarding. It makes you like them more.
And importantly, it really enhances the scale of the powers these Jedi have. Like Mace Windu is taking down entire armies. There's this, well, it must have been like a 6 or 7 short, but there's this enormous droid artillery piece that like stamps out like entire clone armies.
That was awesome. I love that. That was so
and then
cool.
Mace Windu is just beating up battle droids with his hands. Just
Yeah, no, his hands are so. Did you guys hear
it's
that
crazy.
sound Nick just made with his mouth?
Yeah, let's get that again.
yeah, it was pretty great.
And like even like Kit Fisto, it's so awesome. It's so fucking cool. His underwater fight, like
Oh yeah.
it's people you don't really think about. Like, okay, cool, that person exists, but like getting to see them in action and seeing their strength it was nice. It was cool. I liked it.
Yeah, Kit Fisto's literally Aquaman before Aquaman came out at all, right? He's ripping up like separatist ships with his bare hands.
Handsome Squidward.
Yeah. Are you talking about like the movie, the new Aquaman movie or something?
Sure, yeah, any Aquaman, really.
Because Aquaman existed before Kid Fisto,
Yeah, it was
let's be
Aqua
real.
Boy until Kit Fisto came around. But like in the movies, Kit Fisto's like, you're under arrest.
Kid Fisto.
Oh, Kit Fisto?
Yeah.
I can't.
You just keep saying Kid Fisto.
I
and it's just
can't
funny.
with the fist. I just can't.
Yeah.
Why did George do this?
I don't know.
You can ask him.
No clue.
He's right here.
Hey, everybody.
It's like Kit, and fist kind of go together. Yeah, it's,
Poetry.
It's kind of
Rhymes.
onomatopoeia.
Yeah.
Onomatopoeia. Is that the sound a punch makes, George? Fist?
Kid Fisto.
I'm sorry, George. I was just kidding.
That's all right. Just faster, more intense next time.
But yeah, you guys want to talk about the other villains, or?
Like Asajj Ventress, is that what you want to talk
Well,
about?
yeah, I thought Asajj in this was another person, pure nightmare fuel when I was a little kid.
Yeah, she creeped me out just because I've never really liked the way she looked. She just looked freaky.
She looked freaky. Then there was this like, if you notice in the first short, until she speaks, you don't realize that this could be a woman per se. Like it's a very androgynous type, humanoid character, which I think added to the honestly, it added to how scary it was, and I felt like in the Clone Wars miniseries, the 3D one, they kind of feminized her a little too much, and I even think they gave her pupils, which I thought was dumb, because the whole thing is that like the lack of eyes is unsettling.
Everything about the 3D Clone Wars, they just have a totally different direction that they're doing it. Her character gets actually pretty cool in the Clone Wars as they go on. Not interesting at all, actually, in the beginning of the series, but like by the end of it, she's a pretty compelling character.
Cool.
Dooku's cool too. That's all I had to say.
Yeah. I mean, Dooku's fine. Yeah, he's good in this. He's pretty limited actually.
Yeah.
But I think they used him just enough. I didn't need any more Dooku than I got.
I agree. That was a good amount.
Because after episode 2, everyone was looking for that. They were looking for more Dooku, and it was good of them to withhold instead of making the whole series revolve around who this mysterious vampire guy. Another vampire. It's just 3 vampires in a row.
Man.
Grievous, Asajj, Dooku, 3 vampires in a row.
One other little detail I want to mention that we were talking about earlier, and no one's going to care about this, but I just think it's cool that the color of the battle droids is like that orangish, purplish color that they are at the end of episode 2 from like the factories on Geonosis. I thought that was kind of just an interesting choice to put into the series, because when I was watching it as a kid, it felt more like, oh, okay, cool. So like all those massive amounts of battle droids that they made on Geonosis clearly were shipped out to these other places to conquer. And I just thought that was kind of cool. And I thought it was a little odd that Revenge of the Sith just totally wiped that away. They go back to tan.
You're right. I didn't care about that at all. Woo! Killing it right now in the studio.
In Lego terms, they were medium tan flesh. That's correct.
No, they're dark orange. And
Pretty sure that's my skin color, medium tan flesh. I'll take it.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was cool.
Oh, come on, guys.
I don't know why he's just trying to get some jabs.
I'm trying to land some blows over here. It's a new Mo. I got my old voice back. This is terrible.
Yeah,
it's a new Mo.
He reverted.
I'm trying to land some blows over here.
That's why you reverted. Telling your
because
fucking...
of the blows?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Let me rein it in.
What do you guys think about like that the end storyline for Anakin that was going on concurrently with like the invasion of Coruscant?
I just want to say I didn't care about Anakin at all throughout this entire thing.
I feel personally attacked because Nick saw me fall asleep at the end, so now he's bringing it up just to humiliate me.
What?
But I know what happens at the end.
You've seen it before.
I have. I know what happens at the end, and I love that. I thought it said a lot about his character development.
Details.
What?
Oh man, this guy doesn't even remember.
Those tattoos were wild. In fact, I saw a chick in Williamsburg with those same tattoos. That was kind of crazy. What's up with that?
I know what they were going for, where it was like trying to be like remote so they didn't have contact, and it was trying to be kind of the total opposite of the big city invasion. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it really worked that well. When I do rewatch those bits by myself, I always skip over that stuff.
Yeah, no,
like
that's fair.
Whenever I watch the 2D Clone Wars, I pretty much never rewatch that stuff.
It just because it feels forced. I think is what it really comes down to. And I guess like my issue with Anakin throughout this like little mini series is that we see him being annoying and like, I don't want to listen to you, Obi-Wan. Nah. And then he graduates from Padawan and when they cut his hair, and it's a silly...
He gets a haircut.
Yeah, it's a silly thing that happens that they give it like the hair piece to Padme. And she's
loses.
like, ooh, and puts it in a box. Regardless, I do think it's funny when she sees him later and she's like, oh, you're scarred. And then it's like implied that they fuck. And then right after we see him like talking to Obi-Wan and he's all like, hey, Obi-Wan, I'm going to eat these bugs. I'm an adult now, I'll have you know. And it's like, you're so lame. Like, you're so not cool.
You're pumping a lot of character development into one night is all I'm saying.
Yeah. And I don't know. It was just one of the weaker points for me. In the series.
I feel like they really should focus in on, I think there is a storyline there about a young man who lost his mom, lost his family, and like is afraid of loss, and this drives him to the dark side. But I'm afraid like some of that gets lost to the melodrama, and that's why a lot of people felt that episode 3 didn't deserve its darker moments because they didn't see that development. And I haven't seen the Clone Wars 3D series. I feel like maybe they'll make it up there. But there is a storyline there. I don't know if it's been cracked yet. I hope they crack it one day because I believe it.
I just don't think that really this series was the parts with Anakin weren't that strong, and I think the bigger goal of the series was just to show the conflict of the Clone Wars.
Right.
Which I think it did really well. And then the Anakin stuff, yeah, not so much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we shouldn't be, too ready to pin so many hopes on what was essentially, again, 5 minutes a week for like 16 weeks. But
That's not true. Yeah.
Yeah.
What would you say your favorite moment of the 2D Clone Wars was?
I will lock in my answer as that Mace Windu scene. I just thought it was excellently choreographed. The action was awesome. Again, it made me care about Mace Windu. It also made me really want to build a lightsaber. I don't know. It just gave me this strong impulse to I want to build a lightsaber right now. But that scene is probably the most memorable to me.
That's fair. My favorite is definitely Anakin and Asajj's battle on Yavin 4. Is it Yavin 4?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that's definitely my favorite. I think especially after the previous 2 shorts where we see the extreme powers of the Force to take out entire armies. Now you're faced with 2 of these Force users, and you know that the stakes are mega high. They're mega powerful. And it initially just scared me. Again, I was afraid of her, but I didn't know. I don't know why I didn't know, but I didn't know what would happen to Anakin. You're a kid, you don't really think of franchises or whatever. You're like, oh, what's going to happen? And, every time I see it, it reminds me of that. So definitely my favorite.
I do think it's a very powerful, visual when, he knocks her off and everything, and he's standing in front of this red moon, and he's using her red lightsaber, and then he screams. That was weird. And then he tosses it afterwards. I did really enjoy that moment a lot.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think that, just honestly, the first half, I actually liked Anakin's story in that half better, even though he was a whiny little baby boy. I did like how it culminated into that.
Right. What about you? What was your favorite part?
I think, honestly, the first, time we see Grievous, that first introduction. Especially because back then, that was a big cliffhanger because there was a lot of time, and I don't know how much time, but there was a gap between, the first half of the series and the second half. So really, leaving off on that was amazing. And I just think that the atmosphere of that, I can always rewatch that, and I always get the same feeling of ooh, that chills of how cool Grievous is in that series.
Oh.
Favorite characters? New characters. Newish,
Newish.
I'll give you mine first. I love Sha'a Gi, the Jedi Warrior. Yeah. I love that guy. You gotta check him out. Oh,
we gotta go to school.
He's all around us, man.
That's so good.
I felt bad for him, but I related.
Easy come, easy go.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, for our listeners at home, he died.
Bye-bye. I don't even think, there's not that many characters that were created specifically for this. There's a lot of, pre-existing characters. I guess mine would have to be just Wolfman Jedi, who's only in 3 shots.
I liked him a lot because at first he's fighting, and then it's oh yeah. If you watch it, he's all smiley.
Yeah.
At some point. I don't have a favorite.
This guy was probably asleep.
Yeah.
Well, whatever. What do you
I do like how a lot of them looked like Samurai Jack characters, a lot of the aliens and stuff. You'd be like, oh, that's not really a Star Wars thing. You'd see this in Samurai Jack, but I thought it was interesting enough. But I don't really have a favorite character, I think.
You guys didn't
I'd have to watch it again.
You didn't mention Deep Throat, the frog cannon Jedi.
Guy. Oh, I don't like his eyes.
Who?
He's the one who's he would blow up and be
look who was falling asleep.
Yeah, he was with
I just had no idea what you meant by Deep Throat. Okay.
I like that guy. Yeah.
I
like the Qbert guy.
No.
That sounds
the white one?
Yeah. It's not R2D2, it's a different dude.
Yeah, it's the
he's blowing out a horn.
I forget that guy's species.
Or kazoos.
Yep, love that guy.
Yeah.
Yep, I remember him.
He dies too.
He's one of the classic aliens.
A lot of death. A lot of death in this series.
Not a lot of blood, though.
Yeah, no blood.
Yeah, that's impressive, honestly.
In space, Noah can see you, please.
Yeah.
Jeez. Gold star. I give that gold star joke on Ewok Talk right there. Let's mark it down. What time frame, time spot, time stamp, time cop.
I don't know if I have anything else to say about Clone Wars 2D.
Neither do I. I just, as a person who hasn't watched it really before. I do recommend it. I think it holds up. It was definitely entertaining to watch. Again, you probably don't want to watch it all the way through, but like 4 or 5 of them at a time, they're pretty good. They're pretty entertaining, and very good for the visual eye.
Oh yeah, I could probably take 1 million screenshots and use them as desktop backgrounds.
Yeah.
That's how. Oh, actually, no. Bear Softly. There you go. She was my favorite.
Who's that?
She's a good character,
She
but
looks
she wasn't introduced.
I know, but
yeah.
I know, but she looks so cute.
Oh, the
she
one
was
with the
very
freckles?
cute.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
She looks
Ilum.
so freaking cute.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
Ilum,
was cool.
also great location. First time I saw it, I didn't even realize I saw it until I saw it again in Jedi Fallen Order.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Cool. I think that's probably the first time they ever depicted it.
Oh, look at that! See, thanks, Genndy, Tartakovsky.
Good job, Genndy. Yeah, I like all the art that they did for the show. The backgrounds were great. The character designs were cool. It was just a great show.
Yeah, honorary nub.
All right, well, those were our thoughts on Clone Wars. Comment down below and let us know what you think about the 2D animated Clone Wars. But right now, let's move on to our next segment and head over to Mo with the latest around the galaxy.
Hey everybody, let's catch up here on Galaxy's Got Talent. We've got a lot of great performers here today, and we just saw all of them, and let's catch up with our judges here, see what they think. That was absolutely horrible. You are causing me to become physically ill. You should not even call yourself a Tusken. This is disgusting. Oh, what do you think, Mr. Second Judge? Tuskens say the darndest thing.
That's a no from me, dog. Thanks, man.
Thanks, Mo. That's a great segment for us this week. I'm sure people are going to be really happy about it. Very excited about
I'm
it.
sure people are really looking forward
like-
to it.
That's what I hear that the most from fans of the podcast. They're like, man, every week I tune in to hear that Sand People.
Is this sarcasm? I need to put up with this.
I just want to see what Mo's doing around the galaxy this week.
Where's my agent? They wanted me on Galaxy's Edge, I'll have you know.
Okay.
All right, for our next segment, we will be doing Background Hero of the Week, a segment where we shine a light on a background character that had an impact on us or one we think deserves more love. Last time, Nick did one on
Boosh.
Boosh.
This week, I'll be doing a little recap on Tan Wee.
Ooh, who's Tan Wee?
I
The
don't know,
animal
but
that
she's
I
here.
can see. Oh. It's a mystery.
Okay, so Tan Wee, she first appeared in episode 2, Attack of the Clones. She is Kaminoan kind of administrative aide / like project coordinator. So like that's why
That's the Star Wars version of you.
yeah, exactly. That's why she like vibes with me.
I'm sorry, this is the background hero of the week?
Yeah, she's awesome.
Okay, all right, we'll see.
I'll get into it. Anyway, so yeah, she's kind of like a project coordinator, administrative aide to Lama Su, who's the prime minister. She played a prominent role in clone development, specifically in their mental stability, as she studied human emotional psychology. Isn't that fucking cool?
That is you.
Oh.
Thank you. This is like demonstrated in her relationship with Jango Fett, who, he's a bounty hunter and stuff, but like they're cool. They're friends. And she was also kind of a foster mother to young Boba Fett, to the point like even decades later, she's giving him access to like clone limbs and stuff. Yeah, so she just really
Wait, excuse me, what?
yeah.
To clone limbs?
Yeah, that's it. It's
What?
true.
For decorative purposes only.
What the heck? Okay. Well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
You don't
but-
have a clone limb in your room?
Intriguing.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm just saying, like, if I lost my hand and my mom was like, it's cool, it's just stem cells, man. Like, she...
That's
Controversy.
She is described as graceful and having a kind heart. Her character design and, like, Kaminoans in general are designed after, like, fashion models and the elegance of Tai Chi, which I thought was very interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think she's a cool character, and I do like her character design, too.
Well, shout out to all of our administrative assistants out there.
Yeah,
You are the real heroes.
project coordination.
Nothing will get done without you. So
It's true.
When they say 1 million more on the way, these are the people that make it happen.
Well, thank you, Diana, for sharing Tanwi and her bio.
Dad, Tanwi's here.
Is that what she sounds like?
That's what Boba says.
Dad, Tanwi's here.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Boba, is your father home? Yeah.
Give this man a job.
May we speak with him? Sure. Dad, Tanwi's here.
Iconic lines from Star Wars history.
That's a good scene.
No, it's so cute.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. Anyway.
Daniel Logan, young Boba Fett actor, is a cool guy from what I've heard. Apparently, he's pretty connected with the fan base to this
nice.
day. You know,
that's good to know.
He played young Boba throughout the Clone Wars too. Like he voiced one young Boba in episodes, and I think people really want to get him back involved in Star Wars in some capacity, and I'd be up for it. It'd be cool to see him again.
Yeah, definitely.
I only want him announcing who's here.
Mm-hmm. You're in big doo-doo because it's time for some Bombad Fan Mail. If you have a Star Wars question you need answered, comment down below, send us a message, or an email to talkewok@gmail.com to be featured in our next episode. This week's question comes from our friend Ken Dowd. He asks, does each planet have a special sandwich in the galaxy? Like, if I'm on Jeddah, would I be able to get a Hoth special, which I assume would be a fried wampa with pickles? Or does each planet keep their special sandwiches to themselves? Now, that's actually a pretty fair question.
That's an tasty question there. Thanks, Ken.
That's making me hungry now. I want a fried wampa with pickles. Do you think that tastes like a Chick-fil-A sandwich?
Probably not.
Yeah.
Have you seen a wampa?
Hey, you don't know what wampa meat tastes like?
I would imagine it's
fried,
more like beef.
Fried food tastes a lot like similar.
Honestly, I tried to look into it a little bit because I'm not really familiar with Star Wars food in general. So I was like, I don't like blue milk. That's pretty much all I know. And then, I looked into it a little more, and I imagine that some places probably do have some kinds of specials. What I did find out was most places kind of have rather than having their own like special like food, they do have their own like different types of liquor and like wines and stuff, which I thought was really cool. Yeah, so you could get how would you say Alderaan, like the people of Alderaan?
Alderaanian.
Okay,
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that was correct.
I just made that up, but if it's correct, that's great.
You can get like Alderaanian wine. You can get Gungan beer or something, or things like that. That's about the closest I got to like to saying like specialties, besides like in Akshto where you could get porgs. That's the only place where you can get roasted porgs.
Oh, where's Akshto again? Remind me.
That's where Luke Skywalker was.
Right? Yes. I guess so. Yeah. I mean, when I thought of the question, it actually brought up something interesting. And insofar as, when people think about the world of Star Wars, what are they relating it to? So it's clearly not our world. It's not nearly as connected as our world. In fact, I'd say the closest thing you can compare it to is probably like, mid millennia, like Renaissance Europe. Like of these other places, and they have connections and trade and their products, but there isn't like an intimate understanding of the cultures and so on.
Yeah.
Luckily, there are robots to bridge that gap and translate and so on. And apparently, Obi-Wan knows every other language. But yeah, and also I don't think there's like big mega corporations, it seems, at all. I mean, there seems to be like big planet-wide mining corps.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's the Walmart of Star Wars?
Yeah, you don't really see franchises.
Yeah. there's no like McDonald's to have a certain type of sandwich on every planet. But I would like to have the McCrate burger, definitely. I'm a crate ribs kind of guy, Ken.
It's just salt.
So
Yeah, a very salty
Actually,
food
there is at Galaxy's Edge they have like this popcorn, I think, and it's like it has like red salt on it.
Oh,
Yeah.
see,
Yeah.
Delicious
Which is
and
kinda
accurate.
Yeah, there are several Star Wars themed dishes at like the restaurants in Galaxy's Edge, which is kind of cool. So I'm assuming that maybe those, I should have done some research and looked up the names. But I'm assuming maybe those are pretty universal sandwiches. I don't think those are specific to only being able to eat them at Galaxy's Edge in Batu or whatever.
Is that where Galaxy's Edge is located?
Yeah,
when you get there, it's Batu.
Yeah, it's called Batu.
What is Batu?
It's a new place.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You could play it in The Sims 4.
Yeah, is that right?
Yeah,
All right.
it's a new place that Disney made specifically so that it was its own thing. It has its own identity instead of being. I don't know if that was a good idea or not.
It's
It's
neat.
a fun place to go, though.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I will say.
Yeah, it was
both
a
in,
lot of fun to walk around. Yeah,
yeah, both in real life and in the video game.
In the Sims?
Yeah. you
sure
you
it's
can
great
meet up
in
with
The Sims.
Kylo Ren.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
wow. I saw Kylo Ren in person, but he didn't talk to me.
that's not surprising. It's very
Emo
standoffish.
jerk.
Who are you talking to?
He's getting wider.
What?
He is.
Kylo Ren. Come on, man. You gotta step up your memes.
I don't get it.
You've never seen the wide Kylo Ren meme?
Oh,
with
it's
his
when
shirt
he's
off?
a block. Okay.
Yeah.
That's not funny.
All right, well, I'm going to give you a definitive answer, Ken, and I'm going to tell you that, yeah, every planet definitely has its own special sandwich. That is very clear to me, and you can take that as fact. And then whether or not you can get them on other planets, that's debatable.
Who's to say?
I would say, sure. I mean, but I think it's similar to the way where, like, if you have food from other countries in your country or even other states or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, it's not really the same as the source, you know what I mean? And people put their own spin on it wherever you go. So I'm assuming it's something similar to that. Like, you're not going to get a good fried wampa with pickles on Coruscant. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You got to go to Hoth if you want to get the real thing.
Yep. Or Nikki's down in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
There you
Welcome to my Gamorrean fusion.
Gamorrean
bistro.
Fusion Bistro. Oh my gosh. Yeah, what's like the Korean barbecue place in Star Wars? That's where I want to go.
It would be Gamorrean. I'm kidding.
Gamorrean, yeah.
Where do all the Koreans live?
And like, if you want good sushi, you got to go to Mon Calamari.
Oh, hey,
That's pretty
grim.
fucked up. 'cause,
Yeah. Let's just think they're eating the Quarren, so it's not.
They're eating the Quarren, and the Quarren are eating the Mon Calamari. So it
Perfect. It's
all
not-
works out. It's symbiotic.
It's not auto cannibalism.
That slop that they had in the Mandalorian
Yeah, like
episode
that porridge.
on that planet.
Yeah.
That actually looked kind of good.
What?
Not
Well,
to
it
me.
was like a good hearty soup. You know, you ever had a hearty soup?
There was
I
like
guess-
a little squid in it.
It kind
There
of
was
delicious.
a live squid.
it
in your
reminded
soup.
me of a thing that I eat.
It kind of looked like vomit. I don't know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
that doesn't change how I
You said
felt.
gnocchis?
No, I mean, what is your thing?
What do you mean? What's my thing?
What did you say?
Oh, I said that they look kind of good, like a nice clam chowder on a cold day with a nice fisherman sweater on. Yeah, it looks inviting. It's got squid in it, even better. A little protein never killed anybody.
It reminded me of this rice porridge that we eat in the Philippines.
Delicious.
Arroz caldo.
Oh, okay. Well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I will say, after talking about this, I'm hungry.
Yeah.
I do want some fried wampa with pickles. That sounds good.
Thanks, Ken.
Thank you, Ken, for making me hungry
Again.
all the time with this guy. Well, yeah, no, thank you, Ken, for your question. If you all don't know, Ken co-hosts a satire news podcast set in the apocalypse right now. So go give his show, Kenspiracy, a listen.
Oh, I didn't know that. I think I will.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, you're not really, you didn't know the guy. So yeah, there you go.
I'm going to send in my resume.
Kenspiracy. Go give them a like and listen to their podcast.
I can love you.
Hey, Ken, hope to meet
Love
you one day.
mean it. Oh, fuck. His birthday's coming up.
Yeah, I think that about wraps up this episode of Ewok Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to become part of the tribe. If you want to see more of my content, you can follow me at Bobby_Fut on Instagram or Maladaptive Films on YouTube.
If you want to hear more about my life and such, you can follow me on Instagram at BitterBaguette, and on YouTube, I have a channel where I talk about anime under Bitter Peaches.
And if you can't get enough of Deep Voice Mo,
Deep.
go ahead. Head over to @TheYoungRaj on Instagram, and I'll just, give you a call or something. All right, bye.
You're not going to tell them about your Facebook?
And my Facebook, Muhammad Salih. Oh, also follow Ewok Talk on Facebook. Thank you.
You're so good.
He's really
So
good at
smooth.
promoting
Yeah,
Ewok Talk.
it was really good. Anyway, thank you so much for listening again this week. And as always, nub nub.